There is a reason you couldn't shake the feeling. A reason the silence felt louder than words. A reason your heart kept whispering, something isn't finished yet. You tried to move on. You tried to rationalize it. You told yourself you were imagining things, but intuition doesn't beg for attention. It waits. And lately, it's been getting louder. This isn't about obsession. This isn't about false hope. This is about emotional truth rising when it can no longer hide. Some connections don't end cleanly. They pause. They retreat. They go quiet. Not because they're gone, but because the truth hasn't caught up yet. And when truth prepares to surface, it always starts inside the one who felt it first. That was you. Tonight, you're not here by accident. You're here because something real is unfolding beneath the silence. And when it comes to light, it won't shock you. It will validate everything you already knew. 1. The feeling. You couldn't explain. You didn't choose this awareness. It chose you. Before anything changed on the surface, something shifted inside you. A pause in their voice, a distance in their energy, a warmth that suddenly felt guarded. You noticed it instantly, even when nothing obvious had happened yet. That's how intuition works. It speaks before evidence arrives. You questioned yourself at first. You replayed conversations. You searched for logic. You told yourself you were reading too much into it. But the feeling stayed. Not anxious, not desperate. Just knowing. People talk about intuition like it's mysterious or dramatic, but it's actually quiet. It's subtle. It doesn't scream. It gently taps your awareness again and again until you finally listen. And you did. That's why walking away didn't feel right. That's why closure felt incomplete. That's why time passed. Yet the emotional cord never fully released, because something remained unspoken. Your intuition wasn't holding you back. It was holding space. Space for truth to rise when the other person was finally ready to face it. And deep down, you knew it wasn't over, just unresolved. 2. Why the truth stayed hidden. Truth doesn't hide forever, but it does wait for safety. Some people bury what they feel because acknowledging it would change everything. It would force accountability, vulnerability, emotional exposure they weren't prepared for. So instead they chose silence, distance, distraction, not because the connection wasn't real, but because it was too real. When feelings go unspoken, they don't disappear. They turn inward. They grow heavier. They show up as restlessness, emotional confusion, sudden nostalgia, and moments where your name almost escapes their lips. That's why the energy never truly faded. The truth was delayed, not denied, and intuition recognizes emotional delays. It senses when someone hasn't finished processing, grieving, or admitting what they lost. You felt that delay. That's why your heart stayed alert, not attached. You weren't waiting. You were aware. 3. The signs you felt before the reveal. Before truth surfaces, it sends signals. You thought of them randomly. Then more often, dreams felt vivid. Emotions resurfaced without warning. You felt a pull, not toward the past, but toward clarity. That's because emotional truth moves through awareness before it becomes words. Your intuition noticed shifts before contact, energy before action, emotion before confession. You weren't imagining it, you were receiving it. When someone suppresses truth, it doesn't stay contained. It leaks through memory, through timing, through emotional echoes that reach the person who once felt safest. That person was you. And now the truth can no longer stay buried. 4. When the truth finally surfaces, when truth rises, it doesn't come dramatically, it comes honestly. It may arrive as a message, a conversation, an admission, spoken or implied. And when it does, you won't feel shocked. You'll feel calm, because intuition already prepared you. The truth won't be about regret. It will be about recognition, about feelings that didn't disappear, about choices made too soon, about emotions misunderstood, and most importantly, it will confirm that your emotional intelligence was never weakness. It was awareness. What this validation means for you. Validation isn't about going backward, it's about peace. This truth isn't arriving to reopen wounds, it's arriving to close them properly. Whether reconnection happens or not, you will finally know you weren't wrong, you weren't delusional, you weren't holding on to nothing. Your intuition honored something real, and that awareness will change how you trust yourself forever. 6. The moment you finally trust yourself. There comes a moment when you stop waiting for confirmation outside of you, because something inside you settles. This is that moment, not because everything suddenly makes sense, but because you do. You no longer replay the past trying to find mistakes. You no longer wonder if you imagined the connection, the pull, the silence that felt too intentional to be empty. You see it now for what it was. Emotional truth moving slower than awareness. And the most important realization arrives quietly. You were never meant to chase clarity. Clarity was always moving toward you. This experience didn't happen to test your patience. It happened to teach you self-trust. You listened when something felt off. You honored the feeling when others dismissed it. You stayed emotionally awake when it would have been easier to shut down. That is strength. And now, whether the truth arrives through words, actions, or simple understanding, it doesn't control you anymore. Because validation doesn't bind you, it frees you. You can receive the truth without needing it to change the outcome. You can hear what was unsaid without reopening old wounds. You can acknowledge what was real without abandoning what you deserve next. This is where intuition matures, not into longing, but into wisdom. And as you move forward, something shifts permanently. You trust your inner voice without needing permission. That voice has never betrayed you. It carried you through uncertainty. It held truth when others couldn't. And now, it stands calm, clear, and unafraid. You don't need to rush what comes next. You don't need to force answers. Because the most important truth has already surfaced. You were right to trust yourself. Final message. Not every truth arrives to rewrite the story. Some arrive simply to heal the one who felt it first. Your intuition didn't trap you in the past. It guided you toward clarity. And now, as the truth surfaces, you can finally exhale. You were never behind. You were ahead of the truth. If this message resonated with your heart, trust that you're not alone. Subscribe to this channel for deeper emotional insights, intuition-based guidance, and truths your soul already recognizes. You don't need louder answers. You need honest ones. Subscribe now. Your intuition led you here for a reason.